When he reported for duty, the commanding officers were shocked to find out that their newest recruit refused to carry a rifle due to his religion. With bullets flying all around him, Desmond Doss charged into the battlefield and dragged men back to the cliff and lowered them down to safety. Desmond silently prayed, "Please, Lord, just help me get one more."
Bro, I called it, bro. That scene is so good, bro. That ass.
You ever let your dog get that big, bro? You have a...
Damn!
Knowing the Japanese would torture anyone they found, Desmond refused to leave a single American soldier on that ridge. And over the span of 12 hours,
bro.
he single-handedly rescued 75 men.
75, bro. Bro, whenever a motherfucker was scared to die in the field and they barely even saw like the light of day, he was there night and day, saving motherfuckers, bro. Shaf, most unexpected heroes in history by Dagout. History. Let's get into it.
Today, we're going over the most unlikely heroes in history. John Paul Jones. It's 1768 and disaster has struck the Scottish trading vessel John.
Pause. Have we got real subs now? I think the video only came out like a day ago. Yeah, it did.
On its way back to Scotland, the ship's captain and first mate both died of yellow fever, and now the crew have found themselves without a leader in the middle of the Atlantic Ocean. With no one wanting to take charge, the crew votes for a 21-year-old sailor named John Paul to take command, and against all odds,
Why would you vote for a 21 to be a captain? The fuck?
the young man's able to bring the ship home. The owners of the ship, expecting a total loss, are amazed that their crew and cargo were saved by such a young man and give him his own ship to command as a reward. Seemingly overnight, John
That's really young, bro. Like, isn't like at the time, isn't like the average age like 40 to be a captain? Be like the first kid, even as an amateur captain. It's crazy, dog.
Paul's life had changed forever.
Nah, but I was watching a movie about that. What's it called? Commander Master. There was a movie called Commander Master that was about this. They have like prodigies come up on the boat to like learn from the masters, learn from the captains. You know what you do as a captain. Yeah.
But he would soon find out that being a captain was much harder than he expected. On just his second voyage, John Paul finds himself dealing with a mutiny against his crew over wages. Being so young and eager to assert his authority, he finds the leader of the group and begins flogging him as punishment. Be grateful you even get paid what you get, and that goes the same for all of you. Sid, I think he's dead.
No way he beat him to death, bro.
Uh-oh. The leader of the mutiny wasn't actually dead, but he did die a few weeks later, which gets John Paul arrested for involvement in his death. He makes bail, but leaves Scotland to captain a London-registered trading ship and heads off to Tobago. But
bro, that's kind of fair, bro. Like, if he killed him by accident, that's fair. Bro, he was a ringleader for a fucking mutiny, bro. I don't know, dog.
Old habits die hard, and the new crew mutinies against him. And this time, he kills the leader of the rebellion with a sword. Now a murderer, John Paul abandons his ship and runs away to the American colonies.
Bro, how is this motherfucker a hero, bro? He sounds fucking awful. Apart from that, bro, he's a fraud, bro. Apart from that one feat where like he bought like a ship, he's a fraud.
And ends up in Virginia. There, he changes his name to John Paul Jones and decides to lay low. Though he always had believed he was destined for greatness, he had at last accepted this was probably not his fate. But everything changes in April of 1775 when British forces clash with rebel colonists at the Battle of Lexington, sparking the American War for Independence. There was no turning back from what was later called the shot heard round the world, and within a month, thousands of British troops pour into the colonies. The newly formed Continental Navy puts out calls for experienced sailors to join the fight to help defend the American coast, and former ship captain
did he fight the British Navy?
John Paul volunteers for service. Now, I think it's important to understand just what our guy John Paul Jones and the rest of the Continental Navy was up against. The colonies had a few dozen ships in their fleet, made up of mostly converted merchant and fishing vessels, and these men had the unenviable task of going up against the most powerful navy in the world, who had hundreds of warships at their disposal. Trying to engage the British in a direct battle would have been instant death. So instead, the Continental Navy focuses on raiding merchant and supply ships, ports, and prisons. John Paul takes to this unconventional warfare like a duck.
Bro, this motherfucker put more money into like his animation. This is a crazy animation, bro. It's really good.
To water, and he soon rises through the ranks.
Bro, I think when you're making... Wait, hold on. Click on this shit real quick. Dog, I think when you're making so many videos that get like fucking millions of views, Shut up, bro. The money's gotta be pouring in, bro. For real. Deadass.
And by the end of 1776, he's made a captain with command of his own ship. But the ship John Paul is given is a sloop, and he's constantly passed over for command of the bigger, more powerful warships. He begins to make a stink about it, and eventually he gets so annoying that the higher-ups tell him to take his ship, the USS Ranger, to France to, quote, do things that help the American war effort. Basically, they were just trying to get rid of him. And so, on November 1st, 1777, with no clear orders and a chip on his shoulder, John Paul set sail for the Old World. Upon arrival in France, the captain meets Benjamin Franklin, who was serving as one of America's ambassadors. Franklin also initially found John Paul to be arrogant and kind of annoying, but over time, they became friends. John Paul was fearless and had bold plans on how to take the fight to the British, and soon he proved he was exactly what an underdog continental navy needed.
And then, Benny, old boy, I'll tell you what I'm gonna do next. I'm gonna take the fight right
Oh, was he Scottish? I was wondering, bro, what was the accent? Oh, he's
to
Scottish.
the British and attack their ports and terrorize their towns and
John Paul, are you okay?
Must have eaten some heart attack gone bad.
Let me get you a doctor.
She's gonna
Looks
die.
like you're suffering from a case of, too much blood. I think, well, I can fix that. Have you ever found yourself in a new place and suddenly needing to find a doctor you can trust?
Oh, ad?
Looks like John Paul,
Ad?
thanks to the high quality
Ad?
every specialty.
Ad?
To
Ad?
ships and captures another in British waters. Then, against the objection of his entire crew, John Paul attempts to raid the critical British port of Whitehaven. Though the attack failed, the idea of Americans directly attacking the home island quickly spread fear and anger throughout Britain. The very next day after the failed raid, John Paul and his crew attempt to kidnap the Earl of Selkirk. They aren't successful here either, only managing to take some silverware, but just a few hours later, he attacks the HMS Drake, which was nearby. The two ships engage in a
Bro, Drake? Like the rapper?
brutal hour-long gunfight, and in the end, John Paul and his crew are victorious and capture the ship. Most people would call it quits right there. But immediately after he secures the Drake, John Paul sails off and captures 2 more ships and sank a few smaller ones before the day was done. And I just have to point out that he did all of this in just 1 month. The Ranger...
That's actually crazy, bro. But again, to go back to the one movie where I saw about Commander Master, that movie shows like how fucking, bro, having a fucking like battleship, like an old sailing battleship, that is impossible. You gotta rely on the wind, steer that shit, have everyone fucking make sure like they reload on time, make sure you're on the broadside, the long side I mean, and you gotta be fucking perfect, even even have like a good battle, or like come out unscathed. Bro, I have no idea how motherfuckers back then did it. Bro, thank God nowadays that we have drones. Could you imagine like fighting shit with fucking battleships? Thank God, bro.
and HMS Drake sailed victoriously into the French port of Brest in early May to much excitement. The capture of the Drake turned the Ranger into a legendary ship amongst the Americans, and at the same time, John Paul's actions infuriated the British, who quickly classified him as a pirate. Against all odds, the unknown fugitive on the run had become a hero of the American Revolution, but his next battle would take him from a hero to a legend. Following the capture of the Drake, John Paul is given command of a converted merchant ship, which he names the Bonhomme Richard, the French translation of Poor Richard's Almanac, which was written by his good friend Benjamin Franklin. Franklin gives John Paul a fleet of ships to command, and unsurprisingly, given his now infamous lack of people skills, he immediately pisses off the captains of all the other ships. Particularly, the captain of the USS Alliance hated John Paul so much that he refused to meet with him, stating that if they were together, they would be forced to kill each other. Nevertheless, John Paul takes the Bonhomme Richard and his unwilling fleet to harass British cargo ships in the North Sea, and on the evening of September 23rd, John Paul discovers a large merchant convoy off the eastern coast of England. Guarding the convoy was the brand new 44-gun HMS Serapis. John Paul immediately gives the order for his fleet to follow him in attacking the Serapis head-on, but the captain of the Alliance, who remember, hated...
But that's what, again, bro, remember, like, not only do you have a ship, you have a fleet. Bro, they were communicating before fucking, like, WhatsApp, before fucking, like, FaceTiming. I think there's something called like a flagship where like if you want to like, get across messages, you'd go on that and like wave flags. But like bro, even then, that shit seems impossible. Like bro, like how do you communicate? Like, how do you coordinate at all, bro? That shit was crazy.
John Paul refused, thinking it was a dumb idea, and instead splits off and targets the support ships. No matter, Jones was determined, and the Richard barrels headfirst towards the Serapis. As night falls, the two ships finally drift within firing range, and John Paul gives the signal to attack. Immediately, cannons aboard the Bonhomme Richard explode in a fiery fury, but not in the way John Paul wanted. See, wanting some bigger guns than the French had initially given him, John Paul had purchased some at a discount from a scrapyard. Well, turns out these cannons were in the scrapyard for a reason.
Oh, that cheap motherfucker.
And many of them exploded
Cheap
in
motherfucker.
their first use, killing many of John Paul's gunners. The Serapis, on the other hand, had no such issue, and began unloading a heavy barrage into the now smoking Bonhomme Richard. Seeing his crew begin to panic, John Paul rushes to one of the few remaining cannons and begins desperately firing it at the British ship. He realizes that if things continue this way, they'll all be blown to bits. He needs to do something, and quick, so he shouts for his men to prepare to board and gives the command to ram the ship. The Bonhomme Richard crashes head.
Oh, yo, bro, Papi Chulo, go back.
So he shouts for his
Animation error. Dog, you're not invincible, bro. What are you fucking an error right here, bro?
and gives the command to ram the ship. The Bonhomme Richard crashes headfirst into the stern of the Serapis. The British captain, seeing the ravaged American ship up close, mockingly shouts, "Ah, are you surrendering?" To which John Paul shouts back, "I have not yet begun to fight." The ships detach, and again the Serapis unloads another lethal barrage into the Richard, punching massive holes below its waterline. The situation.
Bro, another issue back then was that, like, if your ship was hit by a cannon fire, that would crack the wood and splinters would go everywhere, bro. Oh my God.
Aboard the
that has me like squeamish. The deal like me being blasted in the face with fucking like shrapnel and fucking like what was I saying? What was the word I said like 5 seconds ago? Splinters. The deal of like being hit in the face with splinters. Oh my God, bro.
American ship turns desperate. The Richard is taking on water fast, and between shots of his own cannon and pistol, John Paul orders for another attempt to bring the ship within boarding range. Just
Bro, ain't no ways motherfucker like survive this.
when all hope looks lost for John Paul, rigging on the two ships become intertwined and they slam into each other broadside to broadside. Now unable to escape, the British fire their cannons directly into the Richard, blasting more holes through the sinking ship. John Paul sends his men up the masts with grape shot and grenades and orders them to begin picking off the British sailors on deck. The Americans are barely holding on when suddenly things get even worse. Cannon fire rings out in the distance and shells rock the Bonhomme Richard. Fueled by an equal hatred of the British and John Paul, the captain of the USS Alliance had begun firing on both ships,
What, bro? What a backstabber, bro.
trying to take two birds out with one stone. Things were now dire for the Americans.
Bro, how did you survive this? It was actually impossible. He's being fucked by a bigger ship, a more advanced ship. He's got his own fucking like, he's got his own guys fucking like dying left and right. His own motherfucking like friend like bro, you can't survive this.
As the British continued to fire on them, preventing them from boarding. But in the chaos, one of the sailors who John Paul had ordered up the mast crossed to the end of the yardarm unnoticed with a handful of grenades. As he peered down onto the deck of the Serapis,
No, wait, does he throw like around you like the fucking the Citadel?
he spots a small hatch and he begins to try to throw grenades into it. He misses on his first few attempts, but finally scores a direct hit. In the blink of an eye, a huge explosion erupts from every porthole and hatch on the British ship, and sailors are sent flying into the air as the Serapis catches on fire. The lucky grenade had ignited the gunpowder reserve and killed.
Bro, I'm smart, but I put that shit. Or to be honest, bro, this is dumb actually, bro. Bro, this entire story, yeah, this guy, you know, he did one good thing. Apart from that, he killed people, he fucked shit up, nobody liked him, he was dumb, he was awful at planning, he couldn't do shit. Literally only that motherfucker who like landed a good shot, like fucking like Kobe. Oh, bro, he's the only fucking good guy in the story, bro. Bro, this motherfucker's good for nothing, though.
Over 20 men, and in an instant,
To be fair, the video is called Most Unexpected Heroes in History.
the outcome of the battle is now a toss-up. With both ships
yeah.
heavily damaged, the British and American sailors charge each other and melee combat breaks out on both decks. The glint of swords and musket fire illuminate the battle for spectators watching from the shore. Under increasing pressure, some aboard John Paul's ship
But I'm gonna be honest, real quick. So I'm not pausing. If I could go back in any time and be a warrior or like find a battle, I wanna be in that shit, bro. Like bro, it's before guns, so like, you know, like you can still do melee, but also they do shit on ships, bro. That shit seems fun. I don't know why.
attempt to surrender, and according to some accounts, he shoots them for treason. The crews continue to fight for over an hour until the British captain finally breaks. He pulls down his ship's flag and steps aboard the Bonhomme Richard. He then walks to John Paul and personally delivers it and his sword and surrenders. Though the Bonhomme Richard was damaged beyond repair and sank the following day, John Paul Jones proved that the Continental Navy could challenge the best the British Navy had to offer. His victory inspired the French to increase their support to the struggling colonies, and when he returned to France, King Louis XVI made him a knight, and he was awarded a medal for his valiant service by the new American government. Though he died in relative obscurity, probably related to his piss-poor people skills, John Paul Jones is considered a hero in the U.S. today, and widely recognized as the father of the American Navy. Desmond Doss.
That's crazy. I know this motherfucker. I know this bro. This is fucking Andrew Garfield and Hacksaw Ridge. I know this motherfucker, bro.
It's the late 1920s in Lynchburg, Virginia, and a young boy named Desmond Doss and his family
Oh
are
my god, right, that was crazy actually, bro. God, bro, you know what's the issue, bro? I think in like modern like war stories, like in modern war stories, like we have like brave motherfuckers, but like back then, any dumb motherfucker that was crazy but got like one good victory on. Bro, I'm sorry, dog. I'm sorry, but if that one motherfucker like opened the mask, like didn't throw a lucky shot, he would have been a nobody, bro. Dead ass. But bro, back then, bro, any motherfucker that was crazy but they did one good thing, that was supposed to be a fucking like a war hero.
Finishing up a meal at his uncle's home. His father and uncle had begun discussing some boring topics, so Desmond leaves the table with his mom to go to the living room as the two men continue to drink together. The night goes on, and Desmond can hear the conversation in the dining room slowly becoming louder and more heated. His father and uncle throw back more shots, and they begin slurring their words and shouting insults at each other. The argument between the two men becomes so loud that a neighbor had called the police, and soon the blare of sirens can be heard in the distance. Desmond and his mother walk into the dining room to tell the men to settle down. But as they step through the doorway, they watch in horror as his father slams his fist on the table, stands, and draws his pistol. Desmond watches
Yo, daddy, bro, daddy. Can't be that serious, bro.
as his father menacingly points his gun directly at his uncle as his mother bolts in between the two men. "The police are on their way," she says as she grabs the pistol from her husband's hand and tosses it to her son. "Hide that gun."
And then he uses it.
Desmond bolts out of the house and runs as fast as he can back home. He hides the gun and races back to his uncle's house just in time to see his father being arrested.
Bro, what the fuck? Bro, this one was living in Hacksaw Ridge. What the fuck? Bro, in the movie, like the dad's fucking like honorable and brave. Bro, he sounds like a deadbeat.
As he watches the
Sounds like a bomb.
police load his father into a black paddy wagon, Desmond's mind races with thoughts. His mother had raised him as a strict Seventh-day Adventist, and he knew the Bible well. He thought of the story of Cain and Abel and realized that if his mother had not stepped in at that moment, his father would also have killed his own brother. How could anyone do that?
Dude, holy reference. Cain and Abel, his dad and uncle, the holy bone knowledge.
The sixth commandment says, "Thou shalt not kill." In that moment, Desmond Doss swears he will never touch a gun again, a decision that would one day turn him into one of the most unlikeliest heroes in military history. December 7th, 1941 was a day that shocked the nation. The Empire of Japan launched a surprise attack on the U.S. naval base at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii, plunging the United States headfirst into World War II. In the days that followed the bombing of Pearl Harbor, young men
Bro, that's what World War II back then was so crazy that motherfuckers that vowed to never touch a gun could enlist. Bro, they were hungry for anybody to fucking like fight the war.
across
That's
the United
crazy.
States rushed to enlist to join the war. Desmond at the time was working at a Navy shipyard and was offered a draft deferment, but he could not stand idly by and officially joined the U.S. Army on April 1st, 1942. But when he reported for duty, the commanding officers were shocked to find out that their newest recruit refused to carry a rifle due to his religion. Desmond applies to work as a combat medic, but wanting to get rid of him, the Army officially designated him as a conscientious objector, and they send him to join a rifle company thinking this would break him and make him quit on his own. At basic training, when his fellow soldiers find out the new guy won't carry a rifle, they conclude he was just trying to figure out a way to get out of the war, so they mocked him relentlessly. They threw boots at his head while he said his nightly prayers and threatened to shoot him themselves if they were ever deployed together. Things only got worse for Desmond.
Bro, why you getting angry at him, bro? Oh, bro, that's well. It was one dog. It was one motherfucker you shouldn't piss off. It's a fucking like medic. Like, bro, if you piss him off right now, he's not gonna save your ass when you need it, bro. Are you all dumb? Are they dumb actually, dead ass?
Desmond when he insisted on observing the Sabbath on Saturdays and requested permission to attend church services on that day. This made everyone hate him even more, and many refused to eat with him, train with him, or even speak to him. The officers eventually gave up trying to make Desmond quit and reassigned him to the 77th Infantry Division as a combat medic. But unsurprisingly, the recruits there also hated him for the exact same reasons. They saw him as a liability, and after trying their own hand,
Bro, this shit was never in the movie, bro. In the movie, like the most they show in the movie is like one general be like, "You fucking bitch." That's all they show, bro. But they never show they don't ever show everybody else, dunking on him. That's crazy, bro.
bullying and
Bro, I think even like in late 30s, no, early 40s America, like enough people were Christian where they'd be like they respect him for that.
standard methods of getting him out, a commanding officer who had taken extreme offense
Yeah, that's him.
to touch any weapon, tries and fails to get him court-martialed for refusing orders. But as horrible an experience as basic training was, Desmond endures, and eventually he and the rest of his division are shipped out to fight in the Pacific Theater in March of 1944. Armed only with a Bible, Desmond would soon prove
That's actually beautiful. You want a Bible?
every man who had called him a coward dead wrong. The 77th Infantry Division lands on the shores of Guam in May, and immediately Desmond is given a close look at hell on earth. The Japanese attack without mercy, and American casualties quickly begin to pile up. As enemy bullets whizzed past and mortar shells exploded around him, Desmond ran headfirst into battle to
Bro, that's the issue as well. Like, being a medic is horrifying, but in World War II, like, bro, you couldn't do shit, bro. Bro, the least injured motherfucker you get in a battlefield would be like a motherfucker with like all his legs blown off. Like, that would be the least injured motherfucker that you could save. Even then you could do shit, bro.
treat fallen comrades and carry them to safety. Against orders, he begins crawling into no man's land at night, searching for the injured and dragging fellow soldiers back to camp, saving many of their lives. In engagements in Guam and the Philippines, Desmond again and again fearlessly charges into battle unarmed and brings back wounded soldiers to safety, and soon stories of his heroism spreads throughout the entire battalion.
God
By the
bless.
time he left Leyte, Desmond
Nah, bro, fuck this motherfucker, bro. Bro, they would dunk on him, but then when he did his job, when he proved them wrong, they're like, wow. Fucking, dig, hopping. Yo, chat for it. If you want to see like a fucking bomb-ass movie, watch Hacksaw Ridge. Bro, the one scene where like he's like, God, please, like he's exhausted. God, please, one more, please, God. That scene is fucking incredible, bro. Like top 10, top 5 like war movies ever, bro. That ass.
had earned 2 Bronze Stars with a
Fuck, bro, hold on. What the fuck? Bro, what am I saying, bro? Hold on. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm glazing movie so hard. Like I forget. I remind myself of how good it is, bro. Hold on. I'm literally going back to my movie watch list and putting that movie there. Hacksaw Ridge. Wow, bro. That movie's so good.
device for exceptional valor. But as bad as the fighting had been so far, the 77th had no idea they would soon participate in one of the most bloody battles in
Hacksaw Ridge.
World War II as they sailed toward the island of Okinawa. In May 1945, the Japanese troops were fiercely defending their last stronghold before their main islands, and as Desmond and his unit arrived to relieve the 96th Infantry Battalion, they were greeted with trucks stacked to the brim with dead American soldiers. The mud on the battlefields was stained red from days of brutal combat, and these sights shocked the 77th as they proceeded to the area that had stalled the previous company's progress, a 300-foot escarpment that the Americans had nicknamed Hacksaw Ridge.
What are you talking about, bro? It's like, call it.
The Japanese had spent years fortifying the cliff with an intricate network of tunnels, bunkers, and firing positions. Wave after wave of soldiers attempted to take the ridge, but were driven
Bro, no offense to the generals, but like dog. Also, bro, in the movie, like they show Hacksaw Ridge as like his first battle. What the fuck? I was gonna say, bro, no offense to like, the veterans, but like, bro, was your best tactic to attack the cliff by just fucking climbing on it and then like having like no fucking like enforcements at the top of the wall? Like, bro, like that's bad planning, bro. That's bad planning.
back nightly by the Japanese. Machine gun fire from the defenders was so intense that the rounds sawed men in half, and 8 company commanders died in less than 36 hours trying to take the escarpment.
Wait, how many?
Sawed men in half, and 8 company commanders died in less than 36 hours trying to take the escarpment. Soon it was Desmond's unit, Company B's turn to try to take the ridge. The 155 soldiers of Company B stormed up the escarpment and were greeted with heavy fire from the Japanese. After hours of fighting, the day was lost, and
Like, bro, how do you even save that, bro?
55 soldiers managed to retreat down the cliff, with the rest either dead or too injured to make it down themselves. The survivors of the engagement look up from below and see a lone medic standing on the ridge.
He's a fucking goat, bro, because he's a goat.
With bullets flying all around him, Desmond Doss charged into the battlefield and dragged men back to the cliff and lowered them down to safety. After lowering the wounded and seeing they had been taken by medics on the ground, Desmond silently prayed, "Please, Lord, just help me get one more,"
That's what I mean, bro. I called it, bro. That scene is so good, bro. That
and
ass.
rushed back into enemy fire to retrieve another fallen soldier. Knowing the Japanese would torture anyone they found, Desmond refused to leave a single American soldier on that ridge, and over the span of 12 hours,
bro.
he single-handedly rescued 75 men.
75, bro. Bro, when every motherfucker was scared to die in the field and they barely even saw like the light of day, he was there night and day, saving motherfuckers, bro. What a goat, bro.
The following day,
Like, bro, if I was like in the army, if I was a commander, I would make like a new fucking medal for this motherfucker. Like a new fucking like holy, like fucking platinum heart of gold. That
on
ass.
Saturday, the commanders asked Desmond if he'll be able to do his duty on the Sabbath. After some thought, he requested some time to read his Bible before they tried to take the ridge. The commanders and all the soldiers who had ridiculed him for months held up the assault and wait for Desmond to finish his prayers. When he was done, he gives his commander a nod, and the Americans begin their climb up the cliffs. By the end of the day, they held Hacksaw Ridge.
Yes,
A few
bro.
days later, Desmond is injured in battle and loses his Bible in the process of being
No,
evacuated.
bro.
When the soldiers of B Company find out, they risk their lives to search the battlefield and eventually return it to their medic.
Yes,
In
bro.
August of 1945, the Japanese announced their surrender, and in October of the same year, Desmond Doss smiled for reporters on the lawn of the White House as he received the Congressional Medal of Honor from President Truman, the first
Yes, bro.
conscientious objector to ever receive the award. Sergeant Stubb.
Oh, okay, chat, I'm sorry. We don't really have time for this video. We don't really have time for this story, but like, bro. Dude, that fucking Desmond Doss was crazy, bro. God damn. Bro, I also like, if you were conscious objector, like, you go to prison automatically. I'm guessing like he was given the title of an objector, but he wasn't given prison time. That's crazy, bro. Chat, listen, like this is a fucking message, bro. Never doubt God. Never doubt God. How God can save you are your worst fucking moments ever, bro. Like, bro, he faced death and he saved himself and motherfuckers from dying. That's crazy, bro. God damn.
Raindrops on roses and whiskers on kittens, sticking my dick in rotisserie.
Shut the fuck up. It's not even funny, bro. It's actually bad. It's actually. It's funny. Watch out, watch out. Oh, blast! What the fuck, bro? Hey, bro, put him down, bro. Oh, it's actually disgusting, but it's actually nasty. Bro, this shit will make you throw up.
There's 4 niggas walking up and it's just me. Now it's just 3.
Oh my god.
Now it's just me.
I forgot that part.
Tung 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 sahur, ah tung 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 sahur.
Oh no, just keep going, bro. Only 10 seconds, bro. No, bro.
This is probably like a 60mm condom, or like a 62.
Yeah, that wouldn't fit me.
Yeah, no, bro. Probably wouldn't, bro.
Single beranantik nih berkelas.
No, bro. What's that zesty ass walk? Bro, what fat nuts, bro. God damn.
Silencio. Está durmiendo, ingeniero.
Ah,
Hace
so
memoria a esta
cute.
hora que-
Oh god, bro. Some people just living their life. It's legal. Who gives a fuck is legal, bro? It's so funny.
Why are you still watching?
Fuck this shit, bro.
Something?
That's so funny, bro. You're going. Go on. Yeah, fuck you, bro. I was playing some good shit, bro. Look. Dead ass, bro. Dead ass. It's actually. Oh. That's so sick. Oh, we've seen already. Dogs can't eat sugar. No, what the fuck is he doing right now, huh? These motherfuckers. Come on, bro, I hate motherfuckers on TikTok, bro. You can't give a dog chocolate or grapes. Oh man, I'll give my fucking bro. I gave my dog fucking a big bowl of fucking chocolate cream, bro. Shut the fuck up, bro. What the fuck you on about? And I gave him a side dish of fucking like nice juicy grapes. Cause what the fuck not, bro? God damn. Okay, chat dead ass for real. Have you ever seen that one recent video of like a dog being put down? Oh, he's about to be put down by. Oh, it's actually so sad. His owner gives him like a little bit of chocolate, being like, every dog deserves you. Oh, it was so sad. And the caption was like, every dog deserves to know at least what chocolate is like. Oh my god, bro. Oh, that video, that video actually breaks my heart, dead ass.
Hey, hold on, let me. I got somewhere we can go. Come on. It's this way. Come. No, it's this way. Come here.
Where's he going?
I got you. I'm blocking the door.
What are you doing, bro?
It's been a minute since.
What the fuck, bro? Why'd you do that, bro? Oh my god! No, look at that. Bro, he did it perfectly, bro. First try. Bro, he did it perfectly. What the fuck?
We were just.
Oh!
Nope. 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 I'm not riding the elevator. The elevator dropped down when I stepped in it.
Tasha's greatest fear isn't the pain. Stepping into an elevator every time the doors close.
Let's go in depth. Let's go in depth.
Look at this P, bro.
Here's a list of the top 5 worst texts that I have ever
I don't care! I don't care, bro! It's fun, actually. Bro, what you into that, bro?
Mama.
I was like, bro, chat, I don't know how to describe it, but like, he has like a porn star haircut. That ass. Oh my god, I know, bro, it's the fucking porno color palette. That's literally the porno color palette.
Mama, what you doing on Amigo, bruh?
Worst you can say is no. Of course it is.
First,
I also have an autistic.
Oh, chat, stop. Chat, I got the best video fucking like yesterday or today, sorry. It's so funny. Can I find it? What is it, bro? Please, actually, yes, bro. This shit had me fried, bro. Dog, this shit fried me, bro. This shit had me dead.
You are now in a Mr. Beast video. Whichever one of you leaves this grocery store last wins that $250,000 right there.
He had to go to school.
He had to go to school, you know. He could have made $250,000, but he had to go to school. Bro, I'd beat my dad for doing that shit, bro. You made me, bro, dog, you made me leave a Mr. Beast challenge for fucking school? Bro, I'd fuck my dad in that case, bro. Deadass. That shit had me fried. Bro, that shit had me dead. That shit was killing me, bro. Oh fuck, what's people doing, bro?
Hey, yo, the train! Go!
What a beautiful boys.
Isn't it nice when things are as good as gold?
No.
You know.
No.
When your face.
What do you call a black man on the moon? An astronaut, you fucking racist.
I was about to say that, bro. I was about to say that.
Nearsighted gynecologist and a puppy have in common.
Nah, yo, dog. Bro, let that shit go, bro. You're fucked, dog. What the fuck, bro? Well, that shit gotta be fake, bro.
Love is blind. You clean up my body like you wanted it forever.
Oh my god, that's actually beautiful. Chat, if you say anything bad in the comments, you're getting banned because this woman. If you say anything apart from that she's beautiful, you're literally lying. God bless.
Pop that thing, let it clap, let it clap. Ride this
beep. This is crazy.
The first song is going to be Hound Dog by Elvis Presley. Right here in front of me.
Go on. Do it, Kevin. Sing it. No. Bro, I fucking... Dog, deadass, I hate the fucking hound dog. The hound dog. I just want to fucking hear... I want to hear Kevin G sing it, bro.
You ever let your dog get that big, bro? You have a
Damn!
motherfucking problem. Like, that is crazy. Stanley, don't even...
Nah, man, bro, the fucking before and after. Nah, bro. Bro, that's fucked up, bro. Nah, it's actually bad. Dog, bro. Dog, if you feed your dog that much, it's getting that obese. That's actually fucked up. That's actually cruel. Bro, I'm not the motherfucker who should like tell you like how to like treat your dog. Cause also, if you have a dog, you love like family. But bro, I never seen a motherfucker like feed family that much, bro. Make it obese. Nah, bro.
Oh.
You'll never catch me, wizard. I cast tungsten bolt.
山对山来对呀，风采发生山来。
no.
Chinksy Food Reviews has returned. And today, we're trying
Trying
English McDonald's.
He might have gone like the double Big Mac. I know right now we got shit going on right now.
Let's see what it's about.
Let's see what it's about.
You're not gonna believe me when I say this. They sell
Mozzarella sticks. Alright.
You heard me. Mozzarella sticks at a frickin' McDonald's. Let's try it.
Let's try it.
That looks like my wiener. Kidding. Let's try it.
Ouch.
Okay. The mozzarella sticks? 9.4 out of 10.
9 point. Yo, dog. They ain't that good, bro. I've had them. They ain't that good, bro.
Incredible. Next up, we got the chicken McNuggets, but they're spicy. Spicy nuggets. We do not have this in US.
Yeah, bro, Daddy, I gotta be honest. I work at McDonald's, bro. Bro, we don't sell that shit at all, bro. Like, we do, but like, nobody buys them, bro. Bro, hold on, wait, chat. Zoom in, 21%. That shit looks right in the fucking desert, bro. God damn, bro, you better have the fucking drink nearby, dog.
They look beautiful. They look beautiful. Without further ado.
Yo, Junko. Yo, bro, can't be that good, bro. Bro, don't pull that face at me, bro.
The English spicy nuggets are clocking in at a 10 out of 10.
Can't be up there. 10 out of 10. Yo, bro, holy sponsor, bro. Holy unmentioned sponsor. God damn. Like, bro, come on. Could you make it any more obvious, Junko?
¿Te gusta ver vídeos divertidos de Azul?